Additional Professor, Department of Psychiatry from AIIMS, Kalyani. So today's agenda, what we will discuss today is, first we'll see what is stress. We'll understand what is stress, and then we'll know the causes of workplace related stress and the effect of this stress or anxiety. Often we'll use this term stress and anxiety interchangeably, because often we also use anxiety. I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling stressed. Often we use interchangeably. So on health, at work, at home, and then other mental health issues at workplace, then how to help, how to take help at the right time, how to manage your stress, and few tips to deal with mental health issues and how to prevent stress. So I think you are quite aware of this term stress, because we often use in day-to-day life. Na? I am feeling stressed, I am very stressed. So what is actually stress? So I think the slides are slightly jumping. Hello?
Yes, you are audible.
My screen is there or not?
No, just now the presentation stopped.
No screen sharing,
Just,
sir. See the screen sharing.
just a minute. Just.
Nothing cancel, madam.
Just a minute, I'm just sharing the screen once again. So while I share my screen, I just continue. So what do you mean by stress? Can anyone just tell me what is stress? Anyone can just tell me what is stress?
Some sort of physical and emotional tensions. One may feel nervous,
Then?
frustrated.
Okay.
Some tension-related thing we call stress. More or less, we are all stressed in the last few months, I believe.
Okay. So you are saying some emotional state.
Yeah, emotions can be attached to it also. It's always not only physical, sir. Emotions are definitely attached to it. We get also stressed with emotional. If there is a tension in our relation, the home front, so we are all, bonded in an emotional relation there. So we get also stress is also definitely, sir.
Okay, so you are saying a part of emotional anxiety state, that is stress.
Physical too.
But do everybody feel stress?
I feel stressed, I know, very much. Sometimes.
No, why some people feel stress and why some people doesn't feel stress?
Excuse me, sir. Can I define the stress?
Can you just tell? Okay, you define.
According to my concept, stress actually the body's reaction to a challenge or demand. So it may be the physical. What I find, it may be the physical stress, maybe, or it may be the emotional stress. So according to the body's reaction to our any challenge.
So you are saying it's a body's challenge to?
Body's reaction to a type of a challenge. If suppose anything challenge is given, so what way body is reacting. So that is a type of stress we are feeling. So that may be the emotional stress, or that may be the we can say the physical stress, or physical tension like.
Okay, so the body is what is the reaction of the body? Is it the body will try to fight with that, or body will try to what the body will try to do?
Body will try to cope up with that environment by that some our hormonal endocrine factors are there, or neural factors like autonomic nervous system that will play the role to cope up with that stressful situation.
But what will happen? The body will try to cope up.
Yes.
Then if you are able to cope up, then is there any stress?
But sometimes what happens, it does not able to cope up with that situation. then only we can find some other the physical we can say the abnormality or some other mental abnormality when the body cannot cope up with that perfect situation. We have the homeostatic condition that disbalance when it takes place, then we can find this thing.
Right. I think you have got the crux. I think now you can see my slides.
Yes, sir,
again.
It is visible, sir. Yes, the body's fight and flight response.
Right.
Sir.
So what you told, what is your name, sir?
My name is Dr. Prithviraj Karop, sir.
Okay. So I think you are the correct track you told. Definitely when we are undergoing adverse circumstances or demanding circumstances, right? So definitely there is a state of mental and emotional outburst or emotional strain in our system. It happens, right? So and that is what the body thinks, that it is under attack.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So it switches to either a fight or a flight mode. So it tries either to fight the situation or to run away from the situation. That is normal, a human animalistic instinct.
Yes, sir.
That is there. And what you told, the release of all these hormones are there, adrenaline and all. So when there is an imbalance, so the fight, when the fight, hello?
Yes, sir.
So when the, can you just mute yourself so I can continue?
Yes, sir.
Right. So when this fight between the demand and our ability to fight, that is our coping, that we say coping abilities or our resources, when there is the imbalance, and then what we can able to handle, then we feel stress. So yes, stress is actually an imbalance between the demand and our own coping abilities or our strengths to deal with the adverse situation. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then only we feel stress.
Yes, sir.
So stress is just a transitory thing. It is a transitory thing, and when this happens, it starts. So when it continues, there are different aspects of it. I'll tell you later. When the stress continues, then you can see that how the changes happens and different disorders start coming in. Right. Stress is a very normal phenomenon. I don't ever think that stress is a very pathological thing. Stress is a normal phenomenon. It helps us to grow. It helps us to be much more productive if you are able to handle it much better, right? So we just see the different types of stress. Stress can be acute, like a sudden stress. Suddenly your boss calls you and say you do this assignment, and suddenly it becomes a stressful thing for you. So this is acute stress. And or a chronic stress means a chronic problem, like mostly a person having a problem with some person, or a family issue underlying that is going on. Child is not having, a child is sick, somebody's child is sick. That is a chronic stress for him, and that is how it affects his work, right? So that is a chronic stress. Another thing that we talk here, stress is not always bad. So there are two kinds of stress. One is eustress, one is distress, right? Eustress is a positive stress, whereas distress is a negative stress. So can you anyone tell eustress, any kind of eustress, a positive stress? Anyone?
Sir, positive stress can be the means exam related. Sometimes stress is needed for the betterment.
Yeah, right. So you are saying somebody facing an exam, if he's prepared, definitely. If he's not prepared, it won't be very positive for him, right? So it won't be very positive for him. Like suppose I say marriage, you're getting married. Definitely a person undergoes a lot of stress because of the marriage, because of the associated rituals and the different aspects of marriage. But it actually leads to a positive outcome. So when the stress leads to a positive outcome, then we say it's a positive stress or a eustress. Or suppose you got a good job. I got this job, suppose some names. So definitely
yes,
a stressful thing because I have to meet the demands of this work. But definitely it gives me happiness at the end that okay, I have got a better job prospect, right? So like that, this is eustress. This is a positive stress. So we have to identify which are positives. Often we identify and say I am feeling stressful. Often people say, "Oh, marriage is I'm feeling very stressed." But it's actually positive stress. It's not negative. And in the vice versa, negative stress is which is a distressful thing and which will produce bodily harm, which is what we have to deal. So what we have to deal is the negative stress. Another thing I have written, perceived stress. Can anybody tell what is this? Because these definitions are very important. Can anybody tell what is perceived stress? Anyone? No. Just try, anyone. What is perceived stress?
It's maybe I don't know who's trying. Maybe a feeling or a thought of stress. I am stressed. That feeling or the thought.
Right. Correct. You see, many people are, we are together, suppose you are all teachers and you are under some governing body or some principal or some, So many people will say, I am feeling this work very stressful. I am feeling the principal very stressful. I am feeling the subordinate, head of the institute very stressful. I am feeling the job very stressful. But another person working the same capacity is not feeling stress at all. So is the actual stress is there, or he or she is perceiving the situation a more stressful? So stress, the other thing is, this is known as perceived stress, means we perceive it is more stressful than it is actually is, right? So then what we see, the stress, suppose I tell you there is a tsunami coming, right? Or a earthquake is coming, right? So everybody will be stressed. So that is equally, almost equal, right? So there is nothing known as I am feeling more stressful, he is feeling less stressful. Some people might feel less stressful, but more or less the stress will be more. But if a workplace related stress is there, some people will feel more stressful, others feel less stressful, because maybe some other factors are there. Apart from, suppose other factors, suppose actually he's stressed, some other factors might be there, his own personality, way he handles stress, right? So his perceived stress is much more than the actual stress. So you are clear about all these definitions?
Yes, sir.
Right. So move ahead. This is what eustress is this, and this is distress. So before moving further, we just understand what happens biologically. Since you're all teachers, a bit of evidence base should be there, right? So what happens biologically when we are stressed? Normally, there is a term known as general adaptation syndrome given by Hans Selye long back. He's stated that there are three reactions when we are stressed. A stage of alarm reaction, like we suddenly get awakened. Suppose you are sitting in the class, suddenly somebody says that inspector has come and he's calling you. Suppose I'm saying a school setup, and you suddenly get a reaction. Then there is a stage of resistance. Then suppose you meet the actual situation and you are feeling stressful, so you are fighting within yourself, your body is fighting within yourself to resist that emotional outburst. And then comes a stage of exhaustion. Then actually you are exhausted, you are mentally, physically exhausted, and then your signs, symptoms of stress starts coming. So this is the general adaptation syndrome. That is how individuals deal with stress. But the hormonal theory is there is a neuroendocrine immune hypothesis, means the neuronal system, the endocrine system, and the immune system, they play together and they activate each other. So the HPA axis, the hypothalamus pituitary axis is there. So it stimulates the autonomic nervous system and thus stimulates the immune system. So what happens, you see, when there is a stress, so it stimulates the autonomic nervous system, the hypothalamic pituitary system gets activated, stimulates the autonomic nervous system, it releases adrenaline or cortisol. These are the hormones to fight, right? And this excess of these hormones, what happens, this activates the immune system and this damages the cells and causes infections. So the body cells becomes prone to more infections, more of physical problems starts happening when the person is unable to handle the stress. When he's able to handle the stress, there is a feedback loop, means the cortisol regulation happens so that excess amount of this cortisol and adrenaline doesn't come out. So the symptoms of stress will be physical symptoms, like you feel fatigue, you feel tired, you feel headache, you feel gastric upset. All these things I will deal later. There can be mental symptoms like anxiety, fear, avoidance, phobia, all these things. There can be behavioral symptoms like you become anger outburst is there, you become irritable, you come to a workplace and you are irritable. Many people you see are irritable. You will see they might be undergoing stress. They're angry, they're irritable, they're shouting, their behavioral inappropriate behavior is there, or there are emotional symptoms, either they are depressed or sad, like all these things are there. So what happens? This work pressure, suppose we are in a work situation, so this work pressure can give rise to stress and anxiety, which can progress to a disease or a disorder like a psychiatric disease, like actually an anxiety disorder or a depressive disorder. So stress and the so-called anxiety is the forerunner of that. So if you can manage this, it will not probably progress to form a disease or a disorder. So we have to act on at this level, on the middle level. So now we go back to our topic. What is workplace stress? So the definition is the adverse reaction people have to excessive pressure or other types of demand placed on them at work, also known as occupational stress. Right. So you came for a job and you know your roles and responsibilities, you know. Suppose there are excess demand, something extra you have to do. Definitely it will be a stressful situation for you. So this can be this is what we know as workplace related stress. But stress is not an illness. I told you just now. But if it persists for a longer period and it is too much to handle, then definitely it could lead to physical and mental illness. I have told you perceived stress. So there is individual variation of how we perceive stress. Now people might ask, like, why you're saying this as a stress? Why not this as a work pressure, right? So let's see what is the difference. However, it's not very difficult to differentiate. It's not easy to differentiate. So work pressure, what we say, is a good thing that will help people to get motivated and help them to reach their goals, right? And but we have to see whether it's too much. The balance is too much. Whether we can manage this work pressure and whether it's going to be a stressful thing for us. So when we can manage the pressure of the work and we can be productive, like many people we are seeing that they're workaholic and they do a lot of work and they can manage everything together. They don't feel stressed, and that is their way they work. So so that is, we can say, his pressure of work is too much. He is the huge pressure. He's also getting stressed, but he's managing. But when the work pressure becomes too much and the demands are too much that you are unable to manage this stress, then definitely it is a stressful situation for you that will progress and lead to disease or dysfunction. Now we see what are the causes of workplace related stress. Before we do, can someone tell any of you had a stressful work pressure related stress and what are the causes of that, if you want to share? Any factor that you feel is a workplace related stress for you? Anyone?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this may be due to workload.
Okay, you are saying workload. Okay, means excessive workload, right? Definitely.
The relationship between
anyone
the
else?
right.
Shukantu Babu, I am one of the
family reason or other reasons that may interfere work.
Okay, right. Yes, madam, what you're saying?
Yes, I think I acted as a college teacher for 9 years, and there I found that the relation between principals and the authorities and the teachers, that is also also becomes
right. So third told workload. You are telling interpersonal relationship between authorities, the relationship between peers.
Yes.
Anybody else? Anything else?
Time management.
Sir, may I tell something?
Yes, definitely.
When we want to get something approved from the higher authority in the college, it is very stressful.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes,
so,
yes.
This with the authority, right?
Sir, can I add one? Sir, I feel that the desire I have to reach a goal and I can't meet that goal, so that creates the tension. That is the main, I believe.
Right. Means your dream versus the reality. That is the difference between that.
Yes, sir. Yes, my ambition also. My ambition versus the reality.
Yes, your ambition. Right. Yeah. Any other aspect?
Competition with the colleagues. Competition with the colleagues.
Everything. That is what I want to ask. Is everything related to workplace?
Sir, time management may be a
cause also.
Yes, time management somebody told. No, I'm saying is everything related to workplace or something can be there in other aspect also that you are carrying the stress in the workplace.
Yes, sir. It is there in some family affairs may
Some family
interfere.
issues can be there, some health issues can be there. Suppose your family member is not well and he or she is suffering from some chronic illness and you're very stressful. Won't you feel your stress is continuing? That's a chronic stress that is continuing. Somebody tells you something in the workplace and you perceive it to be a huge stress, like you had a huge perceived stress. So this is very common. Workplace related stress is not only related to the work and the workplace. That is what I want to emphasize. Definitely work related stress will be more, means the percentage of that will be much more, but definitely other factors also we have to consider. So we see what are there. So increased work demand, that one told, inadequate support and information, peers and seniors, everybody told, not clearly understanding roles and responsibilities of work. That is also a very important issue. Suppose you have joined a post, and suppose you are a Hindi teacher in a school, and you have joined the post as a Hindi teacher, teaching, suppose class 7 to 10 or A6 to 10. And suddenly principal tells that you take the social science teacher is not coming, you take the social science class, tomorrow you organize a function for this, something else. So clearly things are not understandable, what roles and responsibilities are there, and you see that you are only given much more work. So people feel stressful for that, right? So when the roles and responsibilities are not very clear, then definitely people are stressed. Having no control over the way they are supposed to do their task. Right. So suppose everybody has a way to do their work, right? Suppose you are a teacher and you know how to teach, right? You are qualified for that. Suppose I sit in your class and say that, no, this is not the correct way that you are teaching. This teaching will be detrimental to the students. And I think you should change your style of teaching. Right. So that will be much more stressful for you. Like, okay, what means everything will be like you have to go back to your then basics and ask yourself that, then what I'm doing. So there is another kind of stress is there when the senior or the boss, they are too much intrusive into your work and they dictate how to do the work, right? Being a victim of bullying or having poor relationship with people at the workplace. This often happens who are very kind of personality is timid and who are not very kind of a social person, or who are they often have this kind of victim of bullying and they are often outcasted, often being left alone. So this is also can cause poor relationship and work related stress. And not being involved and included in organizational changes. Now, many people are left alone like that. Many the superiors often think that they are not very good enough and they're not, so they're not involved or not included in very of the organizational changes and organizational committees and other things. Those people also feel stress. You will see that people might feel happy, but many people feel stressed because this left out thing, that I am not been included in the organization. I am a part of this institute for the last 20 years and they have not included me in any committee in the suppose annual day function, whatever. So you also feel stressed why it has happened, and there will be a lot of thinking process. Also, there can be other factors that I was discussing, even the skill and ability. Suppose you have a particular skill and abilities and I give you work, suppose you're not very good in computers, right? And suppose I give you work related to computers and all, that will be much more stressful for you. Then experience, like the experience that you have, and I give you either a lower level work or a very higher level work. Mainly lower level work will cause a lot of stress. Age, with age we know we decline in terms of our cognitive functions. So age is another factor that people are unable to cope at the workplace. Health, like what I told you, health of self or family. Then a personality means the person you are, like you are not very well adjusted person and you are not able to mix and match with everyone. So that also can cause a lot of stress. Situations at home. So these are other factors that can cause workplace related stress. Now, how it can affect your health. Now, what we understand that these are not only mental symptoms, there are a lot of physical symptoms. I was discussing that. So it can cause you headache, back pain, sleeping problems, stomach upset, because there is a connection between the mind and the body. We say mind-body dualism. They stay together, they work together. So you see, when you are stressed, you start having headache. So this is a manifestation of anxiety. Headache is not because of something like a migraine or something of a huge blood vessel, some changes are happening. Because of the anxiety, when the anxiety goes down, the headache comes down, right? So these are the symptoms that can happen. Then you can have mood symptoms, depressed, you can be depressed, your blood pressure may increase. Since the immune system is affected, you can get be more prone to infections. So this is another thing. The study was done to see, like, stress, whether stress is related to more of COVID infections and all. That also has been found positive. So people suffering from infection, the immune function is much less, becomes much less. So they get more infected and they get more of sickness. So that is another factor. If you have another health problem, it could get worse. Like suppose you have underlying diabetes, or you have diabetes, hypertension. So anxiety, stress chronically will lead to uncontrolled diabetes. You have to increase your diabetic tablets. You have to increase your antihypertensives, or it can lead to serious consequences. Also, this can affect your work, like your performance at work may be affected. It may be harder to have relationships with your colleagues and peers. The quality of your work might suffer. Your relationship with boss may become strained. So all these things, this anxiety and all, will definitely is very detrimental both to your mental state and your physical well-being. Even stress can affect your life at home, right? So there are studies which have shown that 83% of men and 72% of women said that their workplace anxiety affected their personal lives. Also, 7 out of 10 said that it affected the relationship with their spouse. This is men, however, said more than women workers. I don't know the relationship, but definitely studies are there. It has affected the relationship, physical relationship, their marital relationship with other people. So there are a lot of negative consequences if you are not able to handle this workplace stress. So that is what we want, a help at the right time, right? So the right help at the right time. So see how we can move ahead. Since I told you that workplace related stress and mental health are related, so it triggers a mental disease, like suppose depression, anxiety, phobia, all these things is triggers. And if you are having a pre-existing mental disorder, it will worsen it. Like panic. Often people in the workplace experiences panic attacks, means sudden anxiety, palpitations, sweating, trembling, and feeling something is going to happen. People think that it's a heart attack. Actually, it's a panic attack. Phobia. They started fearing, like you have heard school phobia. Children doesn't want to go to school. Like that, people doesn't want to go for work. They start taking leaves, which are like they pretend to be sick and they don't want to come to go to office, because there is a phobia, there's an associated anxiety. When nearing the office, they will feel a lot of anxiety, and this will lead to lot of other unhealthy methods to cope with that. I will deal with that. Avoidance, then they don't go for work. Shifting jobs, people multiple times people try to shift jobs, try to find a place which will be less stressful for them, and ultimately it will reduce productivity. Another thing that I have not mentioned is what I was telling is a lot of people are indulging into substance abuse, like smoking and alcoholism and other hardcore substance. Like you see this corporate world, if you see, they work, means they slog over the weekdays, like lot of long hours of work, and evening they have like full blast parties and they into full substance and all. So it's very common for them to get into a lot of substance related addictions and a lot of other troubles, other issues. Like many people you see in the office and all, they take a break, go out, have a smoke, come back, and they feel because of the stress they need one smoke to come back, right? So this is how they deal with the stress. So there are unhealthy ways of dealing with stress, like they eat, some people eat much, some people sleep much, some people have irritability and issues with their families. So all these things are there, which are unhealthy techniques to deal with this stress. So what we'll try to see is like how we can deal with this stress in a much better manner. Workplace stress will also always be there. It won't disappear, right? Whatever work capacity work you are doing. So who will help you? A physician can help you, like can refer to you if you have physical problems. Suppose you suddenly having a backache and you go to a physician, and then you give a history that there is a stressful event in the workplace, and if he finds a relationship, he might refer to a psychiatrist. So psychiatrist is a person who can deal with this kind of problems, or a psychologist who can offer you counseling and therapy. So nowadays, I think various schools, colleges, they have counselors, psychologists So you can approach them, or and finally, if needed, psychiatrist comes later. Maybe when you start a severe problem and it becomes a disorder, then maybe we can start medications. Or otherwise, you can take the help of counselors and manage your problems. So get the treatment you need. The correct treatment, either it's a therapy, medication, relaxation method, will help you to feel less anxious and more relaxed. So you need the correct treatment. Now, what I suggest everyone, please remember this 4 A's, how to manage stress, right? The 4 A's are, first is A is avoid stress. If the stress is too much, like suppose you are in such a stressful condition that you cannot actually manage, cope, then try to avoid that. Try to shift, try to go out of the stressful situation. Otherwise, however, it's not very healthy. Otherwise, try to alter stress, means take an alternative way. Suppose I give you an example. Suppose your boss is very, very angry and very, very, I mean, you cannot handle him. Whenever you go to him, he shouts at you and it's very stressful for you. So you started avoiding him. But how you're managing your work, you're asking somebody, maybe you're managing his PA, personal assistant, or you manage another teacher who is in good terms with the boss. So that is how you're managing your work. You have actually altered and you are managing the stress in that level. But a better or a kind of a more what is a mature approach will be, either you have to adapt to the stress or you have to accept the stress and deal with it. So stress is there. So these two are the better way to deal with stress. Avoidance and alteration, mainly avoidance is very easy. Suppose I don't like this job, I quit this job, I cannot manage. But that is not a good solution. Better solution will be either to adapt or to accept the stress and move ahead. Now, avoid unnecessary stress is learn to say no. That is another thing that we should be very assertive. Like we are very fearful of things like how can we say no to a superior person like that. But when the things are too much and you cannot do, suppose you are given too much of responsibilities at work and you are actually doing too much of things, and then additional responsibility, you can say, sir, you can write a mail to your boss and say, sir, I am doing so and so, I cannot take more responsibility, kindly allot somebody else. I can, however, give my inputs when and when required. So like that, this kind of communication should be there rather than taking the work and feeling more stressful. Avoid people who stress you out. Take control of your environment. Avoid hot button topics. Often we discuss things which are not required to discuss in the workplace. We discuss about our boss, right? And we say, oh, this and that, and then somebody leaks that thing. So that also is very stressful. Don't try to do all these things. Don't talk ill about your superiors in front of everyone. That is not at all recommended like that. And gradually decrease your to-do list. That also is there. Many people are stressed because they have a lot of things to do and they are unable to manage that. Alter the situation, that I told you, be more assertive, manage your time, be willing to compromise, right? Express your feelings, like all these things are there. But better is this, adapt to the stress, reframe problems, look at the bigger picture, like, okay, boss has given me, what will help me out doing this? Like, okay, and many of your abilities are there. That is why maybe he has asked you to organize a big event, suppose. Adjust your standards, focus on the positive aspect, always see positive aspects. Suppose you are been given a work, means you definitely are way ahead of the others. Maybe boss has thought that you are way ahead of the others. That is why your work has been given to you. So that's a positive aspect. If you think in this manner, then you will give your 100% in doing your work. Accept things that you can't change. Don't try to control the uncontrollable. Look for the upside, share your feelings and learn to forgive. So these are the acceptance. Don't always bear grudges. That is another thing. Often we keep this negative things in our mind and we cannot take it out. And we always feel that the boss is bad and the things are going on. So that in that manner you cannot work. Like often we have to see that you have to learn to forgive also. So what we say, after you, if you are feeling stressed, there is a stress toolbox. Like a person have a toolbox like that. So you have to relax. Relaxation can be in various manners. Like you can go for a walk. You can spend time with nature. If you have a gardening and all, you can do some gardening. Call a good friend at home, chat with him, have get together, a dinner, have a good workout. That's very important. Play with a pet. If you have a pet, you can play with your pet. That is very relaxing. Work in your garden, read a good book, take a long bath, listen to music, watch a movie, adopt a healthy lifestyle. So these are all parts and parcel of stress toolbox. However, these are every Sunday news paper you will find all these things, but it's difficult to adapt and do. That is one we have to think how we can, at least few we can try to do every day. Simple strategies to beat workplace stress. So these are the few strategies. Suppose you are in the workplace and there is a stress going on. So how can you beat the stress? So first is a 10-minute timer. So when you go to work, instead of immediately starting the work or replying to emails or doing work, you take 10 minutes to list out all the important things that you need to do that day. By prioritizing your work, you'll manage your time better. Like you can plan this thing. There are a lot of apps now to prioritize and plan things. I'll show you one or two. And when you prioritize your work, you know what things are there in your hand and which has to be done initially, which has to be given much priority, which has to be given less priority. So in that manner, you can manage your work and then plan your time according to work, how much time you can devote to this. So this planning is very important. If you go for your work, take 10 minutes time and think. Don't be late at your work, otherwise the 10 minutes won't be there. So you can take 10 minutes out of your time and see how you can. That's a planning. It's a planner you make for the day. Then exercise breaks. These are always being told that while you are exercise is a stress buster. So try to take a break in between. Maybe simple a walk around and come back. Maybe you can just roll your neck while sitting in the desk, or use the stairs a couple of times. Sit up straight and try to touch your shoulders like that. Few exercise, basic exercise you can do. Go for a walk. Don't sit in the same place for a long time. Just take a break. Go back, come back, right? Rest your eyes. Often we are into the screen nowadays because of COVID and all. We are into the screen most of the time, or with the paper. So better to give your eyes a rest. Rub your hands a little warm. Close your and place your hand over eyes. Take a 10 slow breaths and relax. So this is the exercise of the eyes. This will feel you much relaxed, because when you press the eyes, it touches the brain also. So it will make you feel relaxed. Listen to music, but this is difficult. But in the free time, you can have a headphone or earphone and listen to some music in the free time, or some devotional songs. Many people use that, so that you are relaxed in between. But you should not disturb the person in the next cubicle or next place. It should not be a complaint against you that you are listening to music in the workplace. And another thing is change the way you work. Here are other ways you can reduce stress at work. What normally happens, stress happens because often that we do a lot of extra work. Like suppose a work is given to us, we don't understand how to do, then we start doing it and then we redo it, and a lot of extra work we do. So do the work correctly in the first itself. Even it means a little extra time, it's better to have to revise it later. You can discuss with 2-3 people that this is the assignment given to me, how can I do it, like, and make a plan, discuss, see YouTube, Google, like a lot of options are there, and try to do it correctly in the first itself, so that you don't have to do extra work and that won't be a stress thing. Set realistic goals and deadlines. Somebody told like my dreams and my actual whatever I am achieving is not meeting. So set realistic goals and deadlines, and avoid over promising or the boss seniors. Will do that. Try to over. Your design and it's more stressful. You have done your work and you have not saved it properly, you have not put it on hold, and organized in that manner. So try to, if your work is organize your files, keep nicely stacked, so that will reduce the. Avoid taking work at home as much as possible. Inform your boss that if there is too much work given to you, say no at times. Like, so this is another thing important. Don't take your work much at home, and unless a very tough situation, exam papers you have to correct, maybe you have to take some of them. But try to finish it. Try to prioritize your work. That is more important. Now see, this is 9 dots with 4 straight line. Can you draw something and show me like how you have done with something unusual? Can you create something unusual? You keep it with you. I will see after the end, right? At the end. So thinking out of the box is another thing that is very important. We have to think whether there is something, because we do routine work most of the time. So we don't think out of the box. So thinking out of the box will also reduce your stress and reduce the way you deal with situations. Now, another thing that is very crucial is problem solving. Suppose you are facing a problem and how to solve a problem. A few days ago, I'll just give you a small story. One of my, not a colleague, maybe a subordinate came to me, a junior staff. He came and told that there is a huge problem in the department and he's unable to cope and he's almost on the verge of tears. And he told, sir, I'm unable to cope with whatever is happening. They're traumatizing me, they're bullying me, and whatever I do my 100%. Still they are behind me, they're not acknowledging me. So I don't know, sir, maybe I will leave this and go away. Like before that I thought I will come and meet you, and if anything I can do. So we sat together and we discussed, and we brainstormed, and we found out what is the problem. Okay, the problem is actually what we found out, that one person who is mainly into it, right? So we have identified the problem. So the problem is one person, other persons are not so but that person is much more problematic. So the actual crux of the issue is that person doesn't like this person because there was previous some issues with that person. So there is this actual crux. So then we started to think of brainstorming situation to find alternate solutions. So how we can deal with this problem. So what we found out, this colleague who came to me, he sits next to that person room, and whatever, suppose there is a discussion, something going on in his room, this person doesn't like, he comes out and shouts, why you're shouting in the air? And some new friend has come and he doesn't approve that, why this person is sitting here. So a lot of issues regarding that. And so one solution is you can shift your room to the other end so that you are not in the vicinity of that person, right? So that is one solution. Second solution is like the person who is coming to your room, he actually doesn't have a place to sit. So he can talk to the superiors and say, take a permission whether in the lunchtime he can come and sit here and have his lunch, because he doesn't have a place to sit, right? And then we found out one or two person in the department who is much more approachable and quite sensible. So I suggested you can talk to them also. So like that we found 2-3 solutions. So we said that there are solutions, that not to run away. Avoidance and running away is very easy. But if we try to find out some solutions, then we can choose the appropriate solution which we can start with and then observe in the real life and do it. Also, we have to prioritize and do time management also efficiently. So suppose this is the problem loop, that is what I am saying. So you have to identify the problem, explore information and create ideas, select the best ideas, build and test the ideas, and evaluate the result. This is what is we can apply in the real. Any problem you face, you try to identify what is the actual problem. Try to go to the crux of the problem, jot down the problem, and then start brainstorming. So and all you cannot do because you are stressed, it will be difficult for you to brainstorm and find out solutions. You take the help of 2-3 people who you are close with and tell that is a problem, what are the solutions. So they will give you many feedbacks. Maybe junk, not very effective. So you can select the most appropriate one and try and test. So you will see the results will come out, right? So this is how we can manage things. Time management matrix. I think this is very important. We can prioritize our work and say which are urgent, which are not urgent, right? Which are important, which are not important. In that sense, if you can make a matrix, so this is important and urgent, so you have to do it first. This is important but not urgent. Then this is not important but urgent. So like that, if you make, so you can prioritize and do your work nicely. These are two apps that we can use to manage our work. One is Todoist and one is Asana. We used to use that very regularly, and they can schedule our work. They can give reminders, whatever work is there, which to prioritize. You can make that, and you can start using this app. I think nowadays everything is app based, so these are also mobiles available. So you can use this. Many people might use some other apps, that is also okay. Now, after this, maybe professionals, if you're not able to manage things on your own, so you have to go to professional. They will teach you relaxation exercise, deep breathing. This is also important. So you can take deep breaths, hold the breath for 5 or 10 seconds, and then slowly release it, very slowly. So that is also help to reduce anxiety at the time, at the time. Guided imagery, CPT, all these things are. Meditation and yoga also is very helpful. People who are into meditation and yoga can find they can beat the stress much more better. Exercise, as I told you, is very important. So overall, how you reduce stress is like eat healthy food and lifestyle modification, avoid addictions, exercise daily, sleep well at night, spend time with your loved ones, keep your expectations realistic. That's very important, so that you know how to reduce your stress, right? So this is what I have. Read a nice book like Malgudi Days. I often read when I am stressed. So you feel happy, you feel some emotional enjoyment from inside. Stop stressing and start living. Thank you.
Thank you, Shukanto. Thank you for your wonderful lecture. And we were actually, we could actually quite relate to all the situations that you described in your lecture so nicely. And dear participants, do you have any specific questions so you can address to our speaker?
Yeah, I love to hear, because there are 10 minutes time. I ended slightly early because I want to interact with them.
Shukanto, in the chat box, there is a question.
Yeah, please ask me.
Why different people have different stress level? What is the biological reason?
Yeah, I told you, the hormonal, the interplay between the autonomic nervous system and the immune system. Like it starts with the endocrine system, then the autonomic nervous system, and then the immune system, final pathway. So there is a difference between that. How strong is your autonomic nervous system and this hypothalamic situation? That is the biological understanding. Like many people have this a very strong control, the feedback. Normally what happens when the cortisol and other things they come, which are harmful chemicals, there is a feedback loop. So the body understands that too much of cortisol is coming out. The person is stressed, too much of cortisol, so it will cause harm. So there's a feedback to control that. So sometimes that control is not there in one person because of either a biological cause or because of long-term undergoing stress. Most of these people have childhood stress. Like we often see people who have childhood issues, parental issues when they are in the difficult childhood and difficult schooling, poor role model. All these things, they somehow alter this biology, and finally they'll end up becoming a person who is very prone to stress, and with smaller things, that is why they can feel more stress. So this is a biological explanation. However, other explanation, if sociological side you will see, or psychological side you will see, that our psychological makeup, how we have seen our role model. Suppose I see my father was a very strong person. My father actually was a very strong person. He's a very strong person. He's a bank manager, and he used to give stories how he used to solve difficult situations. So I had a role model. Okay, I can also solve this. Many people are not very didn't have a very good role model, or the circumstances are there that they always used to fight with stress, and they cannot meet there are a lot of issues. So this is how also they are very anxious. Also personality are anxious, timid, very protective. Suppose you have never been exposed to the adversities of life. You are very protected from childhood. Your mother is there, your grandmother is there, and everybody, they're feeding you, they're keeping you. Oh no, and then you suddenly meet the outside world and you feel, oh my God, it's a lot of stress I cannot handle. Then definitely you have to have problems. So these are the explanations.
Yes, that is adaptation to stress is very important.
Right.
Adaptation.
So, person
that
should
increase
adapt. Correct, madam. So person should be exposed to stress, then only he can adapt. So the exposure of, that is why I'm saying stress is not a bad thing. Stress is very important thing, because it will help you to understand and see your system also. Like you understand your system also, how capable you are to fight with the thing, right? Suppose your car, you are having a very nice car and you are not tested, like you are not driven in Indian road, then you don't know how your brake and accelerator will work the right time, right? So it's like that. Your body has to get this kind of situation, so that your body knows how much you can, and that will definitely train you over time.
First, we have to believe that all the problems have a solution. In science and in real life, we first have to believe that all problems have a solution. We may not find it out, but there is a solution. That belief is very important to gain the confidence. And then we have to find out the solution of that problem. We can discuss it with various people, and then we can, when we find the solution, then the stress goes out. So far, that belief is very important. That will help us to reduce stress. That is that anxiety is not the answer to any problem, but think properly in a way, and every problem has a solution. That is the main part that can reduce stress.
But when a person actually is in undergoing a lot of stress, so this kind of thought process gets blocked. What we have seen over the years, like people cannot think out of box or think out anything extra. They are thinking this is the only trap I am in, and I have to face this throughout my life. So they get stressed and all. There is no alternative solution of this. Either I have to quit this job, or I have to deal with this. Either avoid this, totally go away, or I have to accept whatever is in my fate. So you see Saas Bahu, na? What happens in a Saas Bahu relationship? Often we say that the Bahu feels that this is my Saas, so I have to manage with him, or I have to go out. So these are only two options. There are no alternative solutions. You cannot modify, they think you cannot modify your Saas, and you cannot modify yourself. So this is what is the problem. So when we start thinking that there are alternative solutions, then definitely things will work on.
There is one pertinent question. That is, you said that counseling or asking for help is a solution. But till now, psychological issues are still a taboo. How to deal with this dilemma? Somdatta has asked this question.
Yes. This is very important issue, because this total mental health issue. Suppose your workplace, you find somebody mentally sick. Definitely, there is a lot of stigma attached to it. People will say he is a very weak person. He is psychologically weak. He is not strong guy. He cannot deal with stress. And isko to kaam nahi denge. Isko aur kuch nahi karna hai. Something. He will be blamed, and he will be almost sidelined. Like that, it happens. So people still think. Suppose you have a heart problem, people will be very sympathetic towards you and say, "Oh my God, he's having cardiac issue. Sir, aap dekhiye, aap baithiye." They will not give you. They will be more protective towards you. Definitely, they don't think mental health is equivalent to physical health. Physical disease, as it happens, mental disease also has the same. So to reduce this, things have now come, like you get a psychologist in your own institute, in own who works with you as a colleague, and then it's easy to meet that person. Like, but this is all within the administrator also. The principal or the administrator should make it very clear that this is a thing, that's a disease that people can discuss and discuss with the council when and when required. It should be a stigmatizing thing. That is how we can reduce stigma. Otherwise, the stigma is definitely there. If I find some family member of you having mental illness, definitely a person will be very scared and said, "Oh, your father is having mental illness. My God, I don't know what he might also be having." They will think like that. So it's not like it's not a physical, definitely is there, but we should try to come out of this stigma first, and we should spread awareness that this is all treatable condition. This is because of our chemical changes in the brain. It's not something jadoo tona or some witchcraft is happening, right? So it's something or our last pishle janm ka karm, not like that. So it is only a biological change in the brain. That is what is happening, and this can be correctable with whatever is there. So we should be the, I think, forerunner of change, and we should be the agent of change. That is what I want to say.
There are two more questions. One is how exercise can improve anxiety and depression. Can diet play a role in improving mental distress? And what are the asanas can be effective in combating mental stress? I suppose asana was an app that Dr.
Yeah, asana is an app. Right.
It is an app.
So exercise, they have directly shown, like when you do physical exercise, there are a lot of release of this endogenous opioids, like this opioid. Our inside body, we have a lot of opioids. These are pain relieving things. Like when we get hurt, like when a child falls, like after some time the pain goes away because of a endogenous opioid. Like painkillers are also having opioids, so they act on that. They stimulate the opioid system. So this exercise, it has been found that there is a lot of opioid release from for the body. This opioid, as you know, like if you take the substance opioid, if a person takes a opium, like any opioid, he feels euphoric, he feels happy. So that is one of the property of opioid. Apart from pain clearing, it produces a sense of euphoria, that it affects the brain, the dopamine system of the brain. So it produces a system of euphoria. So when we do exercise, a lot of opioids are endogenous opioids are getting released in our body, and that produces euphoria, and that directly stimulates the dopamine system. Dopamine is the hormone which pleasure giving hormone. So it gives you a pleasure. Like when we eat food, a lot of dopamine are released. When we eat a good food, suppose a biryani I give you, Arsalan biryani, and you eat and you feel happy. Why you feel happy? Because immediately dopamine surge will happen. Similar thing happens with the substance. A person smokes a cigarette, feels happy because immediate surge of dopamine is there. So all this common pathway, the reward system that we say, is because of dopamine stimulation. So this opioid directly stimulates the dopamine, and that is how exercise helps in making your mind better, feels better. You start doing exercise in the morning, you take 20 minutes walk in the morning, you'll feel much more better throughout the day. Rather than a gloomy day, you'll feel much more better. So this is a biological explanation, and definitely it works. Asana is an app that you can try. It's a free app. There are many paid apps. These two are free apps, and I have used this, so I have shared this. Todoist and Asana. These are apps which can organize your whatever work you have. You might be having 3, 4, 5, 6 works. So you might not remember many of the works, and you might be jotting in somewhere, it gets lost and all. So they have a proper system to list the apps whom you are giving the duty. Suppose everything you should not do on your own, so you have some other people to do, who will do this, who will do that. That the person, if he also has a Asana app, the reminder will go to him that you have to finish this work by this time. So it mostly organizes the whole thing and makes the thing easier. That is, it's an organizer. It's like a planner organizer thing. So you can use this app to see.
So we have come to an end of this wonderful session, wonderful interactive session. So nice to you for agreeing, for sharing your valuable time with us. We thank you all so much, Dr. Sarkar, and I hope all our participants have benefited from this enlivening session. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Purva. Thank you calling me. If any problem, you can share my mail ID. They can email me, and we can be in touch. Like this can be a continuous process. There won't be any stigma there, because nobody will know whom they are emailing. So definitely we can be in touch, and you can definitely arrange this kind of awareness programs, awareness talks related to mental health, so that people also are aware, and there is less stigma in fighting this disease.
Exactly.
Thank you once again.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Bye.
পূর্বা জয়ন্ত কি জয়েন করেছে?
এখন তো করার কথা নয়, মানে তোমার তো 12টার থেকে, 12টার থেকে। তো একটা ছোট্ট টি ব্রেক আমরা নিয়ে নিতে পারি, সবাই একটু ঘুরে আসতে পারে, মানে 12টার থেকে আবার we will start।
12টা তাই কি করব? আমি তো ওকে বললাম জয়েন করো আর কি, নাকি 12টা হয়ে গেলে টি ব্রেক নেবে? হ্যাঁ,
জিজ্ঞেস করো
কি টি ব্রেক লাগবে?
Ma'am, just 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Only 5 minutes.
ঠিক আছে, no problem. 5 মিনিট পরে জয়েন করতে বলো।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা। বলছি যে কটা পড়েছে ওখানে? সোমনাথদার কাছে আছে, সোমনাথদাকে ফোন করে একটু বলো ওটা কোথায় আছে, ওটাকে বার করে ফেলো। আর একটা তাহলে দরকার, তাই তো?
পুবালিদি, পুবালিদি মিউট করো, মিউট করো।
রেকর্ডিংটা বন্ধ করে দে।